I'm going live.
Yes.
Okay, we are live. We can start.
Very good evening, my dear viewers, those who are logged into our very unique and spectacular bandwagon of Education per Charcha. I greet all of you, of course, with an apology to all my viewers because of late commencement of this session on account of some sort of inevitable, means unavoidable issue. We are just kick-starting the session a bit late, but I do assure you, in fact, I do guarantee you about the massive success of this particular session, in as much as this particular session has a tremendous educative quotient inherent in it, because it is going to be very beneficial, not only for the students community as such, but in fact for all genres. This particular session is going to be equally efficacious and productive. My dear viewers, this is Vivekananda, an author, academician, and a public intellectual. I know I'm greeting all of you. Of course, I do express my deepest sense of gratitude to Dr. Shri Surendra Pathak ji, who, is a partner, valued partner of this program, Sabya Pathak ji for rendering all sort of assistance, Chandan Orang ji for making posters, and today I am logging in from Darbhanga, a very sacred place of Mithila, and I do express my thanks to Sri Anup Kumar Jha ji for facilitating today's session. My dear viewers, it is today we have, as I have been telling you and rather reiterating at this particular juncture, that we do have a pleasure and a privilege to host a child prodigy. Jiya Srivastava basically is a daughter of my very close friend, Dr. Shailesh Srivastava ji, and her unique credential is this, that she was chosen as the singular host for the unique session of Pariksha Pe Charcha in March 2022, presided over by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. I also do have a special affinity and relationship with Honorable Prime Minister, because I am the only Indian to have written 3 books on Prime Minister and Hindu nationalism. Only book Mr. Modi has launched on himself in vibrant Gujarat Education Summit, that is Delhi Beckons Raga for Namo. So of course, in some way or other, I get, I am inextricably linked with Jiya also, because he also was the uniquely of conducted that particular session on the Pariksha Pe Charcha. So in fact, it is a discussion of Pariksha Pe Charcha on this unique platform of Education Pe Charcha. My dear viewers, before I start the session, I would like, I would request Madam Sabya ji to just show a video of 1 minute or 2 seconds where Jiya, was seen to be, moderating or to be anchoring that very spectacular show of Pariksha Pe Charcha. Just 1 minute, that video show. My special request to Sabya ji to show that particular unique video. Please, Sabya ji.
दोनों को समान अवसर दीजिए, और मैं कहता हूं शायद समान इन्वेस्टमेंट से ही, समान अवसर से ही अगर बेटा 19 करेगा तो बेटी 20 करेगी.
श्रद्धेय प्रधानमंत्री जी, बेटियां घर, समाज, राष्ट्र की शोभा है. उनकी आकांक्षाओं को आपकी प्रेरणा से नई उड़ान मिली है. आपका धन्यवाद. Honorable Prime Minister Sir, we are privileged and blessed to have received first-hand insights and inspiration from you today. Keeping in mind your valuable time, I now invite the 2 final questions. Dumpala Pavitra Rao, a class 12 student from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Sector 8, R.K. Puram, New Delhi, is curious to know the answer to her question. Pavitra Rao, kindly ask your question.
या बाइक दीजिए.
So, my dear viewers, you have seen Jiya Srivastava was the only anchor who has been selected for that particular unique, spectacular session of Pariksha Pe Charcha, which was conducted in the month of March 2022. So, of course, he is a child prodigy in as much as he was the only anchor selected for that particular session. Of course, two more girls were, inducted later, but in fact, she was the only person to have been selected, to have been bestowed upon that unique honor to host that unique show of Honorable Prime Minister, because you would appreciate that he has been the only Prime Minister thus far who dared to, percolate down to every level, especially catering to the specific test and preference of the students community. And that is why he has been guiding as motivation guru, management guru to the people of India, to the students community at large. So this is, you can see on scene, Jiya Srivastava, a child prodigy who is going to be today's very, very valued, and esteemed guest for our unique and spectacular session, that is Education Pe Charcha. Once again, I thank Sabyaji for showing all this video as well as photograph of our today's unique guest, that is Jiya Srivastava. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sabyaji. Now we are beginning our discussion, and my dear viewers, once again, I express my deep apology for, kick-starting our session a bit late because of some unavoidable issue. Jiya Srivastava, actually a child prodigy, once again I reiterate, a student of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Presidential State, New Delhi, and she is studying as of now in class 12 science with a biology, as a preference, because she intends to be, or rather she's ambitious to be a medical practitioner, a doctor in future. Mrs. Jiya, we very much welcome you for today's unique and spectacular show. And here my first question goes to Jiya Srivastava, the child prodigy for today's unique, session on Education Pe Charcha. Walking down the memory lane, can you dig out some memorable incident which contributed towards the deepening of your interest in studies? Of course, you have been very sincere in your studies, but could you please cite few instances which made you more serious, in your studies or towards your studies? Jiya Srivastava, we all welcome Jiya today. We all are very eager to listen to what Jiya says. Yes, Jiya, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me to this session. First of all, I'm so fortunate to have been given the opportunity to speak, to anchor in front of the Prime Minister of the country for the program of Pariksha Pe Charcha 5.0. And before we were given this opportunity to anchor, we had to give auditions for this program, and I remember I was not informed beforehand for this, so I had to prepare on the spot for the auditions. And yes, I was a bit nervous, I was scared, I was afraid, I didn't know what I had to do. So I just said yes to my teacher and went for the auditions and did it with confidence. And there were many rounds, but once we were selected, we had to go every day for the practice, and we had to go through very turmoil. We had to do very hard work, and we had to stay there till from the morning till 4 p.m. in the evening, and sometimes even more than that. I remember one day I reached home at 10 p.m. and yes, my mother was very angry, but my teachers told her that all these efforts are going to show up in the main program, and it's going to worth it. So all this hard work, all these efforts, all this turmoil resulted in the confidence that I had for the Pariksha Pe Charcha program, because when we are told to focus on our studies, there are always many distractions. In the same way, when we were told to focus, to direct all of our focus on this program, on our anchoring, on our voice modulations and the way we speak, on our pronunciations,
it was a little challenging because our teachers, judges who were mentoring us at that time, they were all professionals. They were all they came from very big institutions and very big prestigious schools. They were principals and teachers and officers. So we were very privileged to learn from them, and that was a big experience, I have to say. I learned so much from them, and I still use all the things I learned there in my studies now, and I think it has improved me very much, and it has boosted my confidence, and in that way it has helped me in my studies also. So yes, I'm very fortunate.
Fantastic, Jiya. My dear viewers, you have seen the Jiya's confidence. And most importantly, I would like to tell you, the moment I had a glance at the particular short video, which you all have had the privilege of just viewing it just right away, just a couple of minutes back. Actually, I was indeed taken aback by the clarity of, her pronunciation part, that indeed, appealed to me, tremendously, because the pronunciation indeed makes a huge difference when it comes to communication. And she had really excelled, even though barely few lines she spoke, but nonetheless, I drew my own inference, especially, from the point of view of pronunciation. It was absolutely infallible as well as immaculate. Thanks a lot, Jiya. And my dear viewers, as Jiya, though she responded to the question that would have come a while later, but nonetheless, as she already began correlating her anchorship in such a mega program, you all would appreciate that even topmost IS officers, while they appear before our Honorable Prime Minister, they tend to develop some sort of the sense of innervation. They invariably become innovative. But the confidence of a girl who is just turning into a standard, and that too, so boldly, she is speaking before Honorable Prime Minister, that speaks a volume about the level of confidence she has attained. Thanks, Jiya. And actually, Jiya, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to know, my question was not pertaining to your anchorship in such a spectacular show. My question was that since you're just going through, walking down the memory lane, if you could just cite few instances that influenced you to go, to be more earnest towards your studies. Few instances that that proved to be a greater inspiration for you, some sort of cue that you might have derived from your teachers, maybe some by way of anecdote. If you could share such incidents with our viewers, please, Jiya.
Yes, as the Prime Minister of our country was speaking about Pariksha Pe Charcha and giving students so much motivation, that was the instant motivation for me, something that I learned, and I still am, and it is still helping me as I have promoted to class 12th. So as my boards are coming, when I entered my class 12th, I was afraid, I was scared, because there's all this pressure when you come to the higher classes, and especially class 12, because you have your board exams coming up. So first of all, I was sure that I'm getting to attend this this program, so I will be able to understand better how to attend these board exams, because in class 10th, our batch was not able to give the board exams because of Corona. So I remember when we were backstage, and the Honorable Prime Minister Sir was answering all these questions, and we were listening to him. He was saying that, firstly, when he said that the online medium of studying is not the problem, our mind is the problem. And I always had this question, that suddenly when the Corona wave hit us, and everything was just changed to the digital medium, and we had to adjust. So that was a hard time for us, because we were totally dependent on our teachers before. and now we had to be dependent on us. We had to be independent. So there were so many distractions because online medium, yes, as the students there also said in front of the PM, that there are distractions, and I was so affected by this that yes, I also had this question in my mind, and I always wondered how to cope up with all this, and especially in class 12 when the pressure is so much, and I was wondering that um, what will happen if what will happen in the board exams, and what will happen to my studies, because still we have to study through the online medium, not that much, but we have to. So when he said that it's not the medium, it's the mind we have to control, so that was one thing, one of the many things that I learned from, and it still helps me.
So, Jiya, actually, what you're trying to suggest, and of course, my dear viewers, especially the students community who are already logged in with us or who eventually will view this video, what exactly Jiya is, time and time again, she has been emphasizing on this particular point, that especially when we had to negotiate with such a catastrophe, which was just near apocalypse scenario, which was in the wake of Corona. So indeed, the students were on the horns of dilemma, as what she talks about her own state of mind. And Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, as she gives the entire credit to Honorable Prime Minister, who sought to dispel that sort of notion, that sort of fear and apprehension in the minds of students by instructing them, by advising them to going for a mind control. Because we have seen those bad turbulent times, we'll see the brighter days ahead. So we should not lose our hope. We should be optimists all along, because we have learned to negotiate with all sort of turbulence, and now the brighter days are ahead. That is what Jiya, the child prodigy, is trying to communicate, to communicate to all of us. What's the lesson that she learned through the prime ministerial interaction or prime ministerial interface with the entire nation? Thanks a lot, Jiya. I'm coming to a next very, very important question, because thousands will view this particular program and try to derive inspiration from you, in the myriad areas. You are an ex-student of vocal music at Gandharva Mahavidyalaya, Sangeet Bharati, New Delhi, and Prayag, and also that of Prarambhik Certificate Sangat Samiti, Allahabad. Now, can you tell our viewers that how you evinced an interest in music in such an early age? So, are you still continuing with your music classes, or you have given a temporary full stop to it in view of the overload of your studies in the 12th standard? Your take on this, please.
Yes, music has been a passion from a very small age. Since childhood, I was so interested in music, in vocal music. I always kept singing, and whenever I was in pressure, in tension, in sadness, or anything inconvenient, music was the place I used to go to ease anything that's on my mind. So yes, I used to take classes in Gandharva Mahavidyalaya, in Sangeet Bharati, Prayag Samiti. I have completed till 4th year in Prayag Samiti, and now I'm starting it again because there was a wide gap. I left Prayag Samiti long ago, and now I am starting it again because it has been a very long gap. And before I was in Sangeet Bharati, but then the corona wave hit us and lockdown happened. Then I had to drop it. And right now I'm not taking classes, but I plan to after I complete my MBBS. I don't want to leave music. I have to complete my degrees. I have to take all the degrees because I love music. And so, yes, I will never leave music, because with studies also, music helps you to concentrate. It builds the ability to focus better. And it is scientifically proven that music and rhythm, and especially vocal music, classical Hindustani vocal music, helps to build your IQ level too. So in that way, it also helps us in the studies too.
Thanks a lot. Great. Actually, my dear viewers, what Jiya says, of course, music is a healer. Can you, Jiya, please share with us, of course, with our viewers, who do you idolize, as a singer? Because you love music, it's exhilarating. What you have said, we absolutely take it at the face value. But do you have some idol whom you idolize? If you could let our viewers know about it.
Yes, as we all know, the legendary, the Nightingale of Hindustani classical vocal music, Miss Lata Mangeshkar ji, the legendary musician, singer of Hindustani classical vocal music. She's my idol.
Great. So can we look forward to another Lata Mangeshkar evolving in the future? That is Jiya Srivastava. Can we expect that?
Maybe, but I cannot. Nobody can compare to her, and I won't say that. But
Great. We wish you all the best because, of course, there shouldn't be any comparison. But of course, if you have that sort of knack, that penchant to evolve yourself as a singer, and you are going for such a great determination and with all sort of perseverance, nobody knows, even the sky might not be a limit for you. Great, Jiya, and most importantly, my dear viewers, what Jiya Srivastava, the child prodigy for today's, our very esteemed guest has said, is indeed it matters a lot, because music, even for whatsoever may be the nature of studies, but rejuvenating. So this is the point what Jiya is trying to emphasize upon, that music is not a hindrance to studies, but rather on the contrary, it is invigorating, it is rejuvenating. That is the point she is trying to impress upon all of us. Thanks a lot, Jiya, for the wonderful exposition on music. I'm coming to a very next important question, that even at such a young age, because when I have bracketed you or described you as a child prodigy, it was not only being an anchor in such a prestigious show when the global audience has watched you as an anchor, but this apart, you already bagged 25 prizes and awards. Dear viewers, Jiya has already bagged 25 prizes and awards from Sanskrit Sansthan and national, state, and school level competitions. So could you please tell us in some details about what these prizes were all about, these awards and prizes were all about? Please, Jiya.
Yes, sir. When I was in my primary school, and in this school also, I was in Charcha Secondary School, Mangla Sahib Marg. And in that school, I used to participate in many Sanskrit recitation competition as well as singing competitions. So, and also debate competitions and zonal level competitions. Yes. So, these prizes were given to me for holding first position, sometimes second position in Sanskrit recitation competitions. And my teachers used to encourage me and used to help me, guide me to prepare for all the competitions. And I used to go with confidence and also nervousness. And in these competitions, I won those prizes.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jiya. Now I'm coming to a very important question, because although you already adequately, you threw an adequate light on all that, but still, it is would like to know, because, the question comes in this way. You were the only person selected as an anchor for Pariksha Pe Charcha, which was presided over by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Surendra Modi ji in March 2022. Now, what were the criteria for your selection? I'm not saying criterion. I am using the term criteria. So what were the criteria for your selection as the only anchor for such a spectacular and prestigious program as Pariksha Pe Charcha? Your take on this, please.
as I said before, that we had to go through auditions. So we were given a script, and at the moment we were given the script at the moment. So we had to prepare all the voice modulation, everything at the moment. So we had time for like 10 minutes or so, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So we were given 5 minutes to prepare and then speak by saying the script. So in front of the judges, I prepared it in 5 minutes and I spoke it because previously I've seen all the news anchors doing anchoring so brilliantly, and also I've listened to my father's speeches also, as he's also my first mentor, my first inspiration. And in school also I've done so many programs and held programs, done anchoring, given speeches. So I recalled all that, and I think the criteria was this only, that first thing was the confidence. We had to be confident because they judge you if you're not that much confident, because obviously when the program is going to happen on the stage, the whole world is going to see you. You have to be confident. If you're not, then you won't be able to do well. So I understood that, and yes, I used that. And of course, voice modulation and speaking skills, personality, we have to also, because when you're on stage, people judge you from every angle. So you have to be perfect in every angle, be it your personality or speaking skills or your outer appearance.
Okay, great. So actually, my dear viewers, it is at this very juncture, since Jiya has already named her father being her first mentor, I am, Dr. Srivastava ji, who is, her father, actually indeed is a very good speaker. I know him a very great scholar, and indeed he has, mastery over public speaking. What Jiya says, I'm there to corroborate. Thanks a lot, Jiya. You have, indeed, you made a very, very pertinent reference, considering your father to be your first guru, and you did adequate justice to that, by showing all mettle and your skills in that such a spectacular grand program of Pariksha Pe Charcha. I'm coming to next very important question, Jiya. How do you think the students community benefits out of this Pariksha Pe Charcha? Because you are a student, and whatever would be your analysis, that is on Pariksha Pe Charcha would be considered to be a very objective one. So I'm coming to this. How do you think the students community benefits out of this Pariksha Pe Charcha program, especially in the context of Prime Minister's pontification on the different ways and means to be adopted by the students for excelling in their examinations? So Prime Minister is giving some sort of instructions, pontificating, on this, on the kaleidoscope, from the kaleidoscopic perspective. So how, as a student, you analyze, the totality of this so-called Pariksha Pe Charcha? This is what on Education Pe Charcha, I would like you to share with our viewers, especially the students community. Jiya Srivastava, please.
Yes, sir. So this program has been a big topic for motivation for me and for many others, and for the whole world, precisely to say, for every student out there who has watched this program. And so when the Prime Minister of the country so honestly speaks with the students, with the teachers, with the parents, with every citizen of the country, it shows his affection for the students, for the future of our country. He tells us to have confidence in whatever we do, to have focus in whatever we do, and but first thing, to be confident, to believe in yourself. And he also said that exams are just a phase of life, and just another phase of life as we go through every phase of life. So we have to just go through it and prepare for them, obviously, but don't be scared of them. And I think that when you believe in yourself, when you believe that you can achieve whatever you want if you have the right focus, the right mending, the right path. Then I don't think there is any barrier that can keep you from doing that. Because I was given this big opportunity to speak in front of the whole world. I learned so many things, but the priormost thing was I believed in myself. My teachers encouraged me. They made me believe in myself. And the Prime Minister of the country also said, India is the future, and it can achieve if we provide uh, guru of the world.
आपको आवाज आ रही है विवेकानंद जी?
नहीं डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है। जिया, we are not hearing you, please.
हाँ, उनका शायद वाईफाई या नेट
Yeah, we are unable to hear you. Please, kindly correct yourself. Hello, Jiya. Hello, Jiya. Hello, Jiya. We are not hearing you, please. Hello.
जिया का माइक भी म्यूट है अभी।
Your mic is muted, please. Jiya. We are unable to hear you.
मुझे लगता है नेटवर्क का
सिवाय कॉम्प्लेक्स से हम दाना पानी होते हुए जो अंडर वाला।
Hello, Jiya.
Yes, sir.
Actually, no.
I couldn't hear you.
We could not hear you properly. Are you? Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In between, actually your voice we could not hear. I think it was muted something. So it's well and good. So Jiya, actually, my dear viewers, though there was some little disturbance on our hearing part, but nevertheless, the point that she was trying to make was very simple, very candid. She was trying to be suggestive, especially what Honorable Prime Minister was trying to impart to the students community and even to the citizens of this country, that is a confident, to be confident, and examination is only to be taken a phase of it. My dear viewers, I would like to make some interjection, or rather interpolation. When she talks about somebody being a paradigm, or you can say an epitome of confidence, I instantly recall Mr. Shahrukh Khan, our superstar of film of Bollywood. He is the man I have seen with a profusion of confidence. You can well understand, despite not being a very handsome person, not gifted with a height also, but his confidence is extraordinary. It is something, means something immeasurable. Just like we have a character in Ramayana, that is Bali. Whoever would come in front of Bali, his half of the strength would invariably pass on to Bali. Likewise, whoever comes before Shahrukh Khan, his half of his strength already passes on to him. So it is, of course, in the lighter vein I was making this comment, but nevertheless, the very point which I'm trying to make or impress upon is very simple. That when we talk about confidence, what Honorable Prime Minister has suggested in Pariksha Pe Charcha, whatever very, very valued guest Jiya has been reiterating, is to be confident in every moment of our life. That is the lesson which Jiya is trying to impart to us, and of course that was the crux of prime ministerial pontification on such a unique and spectacular show, that is of Pariksha Pe Charcha. Thank you, Jiya, for being so forthright in terms of telling us the truth, telling us the objective facts. Now I'm coming to the very, very next question, Jiya. Actually, once again, though you already threw some adequate light on it, but my viewers, it becomes very important here to say, in America, when Honorable Prime Minister had visited, and you all would be surprised to know even billionaires they all were, so keen that alas, Prime Minister would throw even a cursory glance at him. That is the stature of the world leader today, of that of Mr. Narendra Modi ji. Of course, I have had the great privilege when Prime Minister continued to hold my hand for 5 minutes during the book launch, historic book launch of Delhi Bacon's Raga for Dhammo, which I wrote, and Honorable Prime Minister launched it in the Vibrant Gujarat Education Summit. So, Jiya, now I'm coming to a very, very important question. What was the level of that is meant your mental state when you got the chance to be an anchor for such a grand show, which was presided over by the world leader? My dear viewers, in the recent days, you must have seen the the Chinese foreign minister, Russian foreign minister, that is NATO's representative. All of these people are making Nepalese prime minister. All these people are making a beeline, to have a meeting with the world leader that Mr. Narendra Modi has evolved himself. I wrote an article, first person in the country to write that article, that Narendra Modi ji is a Bismarck of 21st century. And he has proven. I wrote in 2017, and Mr. Modi has vindicated it today, that he is none but the Bismarck of the world politics today. So, Jiya, now it comes to the next very important, the same question. Speaking before the world leader, especially being well aware of the fact that millions will watch you worldwide, were you palpitating at that moment? Even though being confident, were you palpitating? What was the level of your mental state when you walked on the stage to address the Honorable Prime Minister as well as the millions of people across the globe? Please, your say on this.
Yes, I remember when I was when we were standing on the stage waiting for the Prime Minister to come and welcome. I was very nervous. Just a second, sorry.
Hello. Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yes. So I was nervous and very excited at the same time. My hands were sweating because the Prime Minister of our country was going. I was going to see him physically for the very first time, and there were also many big dignitaries present before us. So I was constantly thinking, koi galti na ho jaye, that I don't do any mistake. Hope everything goes right. And also, we were taught to improvise if anything out of the practice what we have practiced happens. So in a way, we were made foolproof, but still, I was very anxious and nervous. So, but all the teachers, all my friends were very supporting. But when the moment came, when the Prime Minister came and I welcomed him, and when he started speaking to us, made eye contact with all of us, and when I looked at him, I remember all of my worries, all of my tension, all of the anxiety, all of the nervousness just vanished in a moment. I never thought that this would happen because, first of all, he's the Prime Minister of our country. But at the same time, at that moment, it felt as if I was talking to my friend. Matlab, at such a big dignitary, because before I was very nervous, but in a second, in a moment, just when I looked at the Prime Minister, sir, everything that I had on my mind just vanished. I think that is the effect that he can have on you. It's his aura. It's his very impressive aura that makes you feel very comfortable and makes you even more confident. So in an indirect way, he helped me to regain my confidence and speak with confidence in front of the whole world.
Great, Jiya. Actually, of course, my dear viewers, since I too have had an experience, with the Honorable Prime Minister at the stage for almost 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour. So, in fact, he gives the sense of belongingness. Whatever work he is, indulged in, he is there 100%. My dear viewers, it is here I would like to draw a parallel between Jiya and that of the greatest exponent of India in the 19th century, Swami Vivekananda, when he rose to deliver his scintillating world-class speech in the Parliament of World Religions. As the situation was described in so many books, he too felt a sense of trepidation. He too experienced a sense of nervousness, because speaking before the elite gathering in the Columbus Hall, where all top class professors, including that of Harvard and all the intelligentsia class were very much in attendance. So Swami Vivekananda too developed a cold feet, and then bowing before the Mother Divine, Mother Saraswati, when he rose to deliver his speech, addressing the intelligentsia or the august gathering as sisters and brothers of America, there was a deafening clapping or standing ovation which followed for more than 2 minutes. So likewise, Jiya, when she went before that such an august gathering which was presided over by the world leader in today's contemporary context, she too had her own sense of nervousness as well as an excitement. But when she went, as she says, the impressive aura, the positivity all around of that of Prime Minister, the Yug Purush leader of this country and the world, see all sort of nervousness and trepidation, all that disappeared in no time as she became, so adept in terms of communication that, she appeared to be such a great professional speaker. That itself, was the, vindication of that of being an epitome of confidence. Thanks a lot, Jiya. You indeed did a very, very wonderful job. I'm coming to a very, very next question now, because we have already thrown adequate light on all that of the Prime Ministerial session, that you were such an important, you are a cog in the wheel of that particular session. I'm coming to, very, very important question, Jiya. Those were your celebratory moments as a child prodigy, because having been selected out of thousands, as the only anchor, you definitely fall in the distinct category of being a child prodigy. So, as for such a mega show you have been picked up, itself is a showcasing of your talent at the national as well as the global level. So how do you feel as a child prodigy for your role of an anchor with the benefits of hindsight? Try to understand, I'm using the last word, with the benefits of hindsight. What you did on the basis of your, performance, on the basis of practicing for so many sessions and all that, everything is okay. But now with the benefits of hindsight, what do you think, whether you did justice to your performance, whether you ought to have done it better, where you think you had developed or you showed some sort of vulnerabilities, and how with the benefits of hindsight you could perform better? Your take on this, please.
Yes, sir. As we were speaking, of course, everyone makes mistakes, and so did I. But we were taught to not let it show and improvise at the moment. So when the program ended, I was constantly thinking, actually, when I was speaking also, the mistakes were in my mind, that I could have spoken better, but as we have to speak and then go backstage, and then the Prime Minister have to answer. So, and we have to listen to him, and at the time also make notes. So, sorry, ma'am, I couldn't hear properly.
Yes, please. Some disturbance was there, please.
Okay, sir. So we had to make notes backstage as he was speaking, and then come again and speak. So at the time when we were making all those notes, so yes, because we had to do it on the moment. So we have to be quick. So after it happened, I kept recalling all the things that I haven't done and could have done better. And yes, but our teachers told us that it has happened, and now we have to learn from it for the next time, because there are going to be many moments, so we have to learn from them. And yes, there were moments where I thought that I could have done better.
Okay. It's well and good. Jiya, now we are just coming to a very, very important question. So now, yes, hello, is my voice audible? Hello.
विवेकानंद जी थोड़ा नेटवर्क का प्रॉब्लम है.
Okay. So now is my voice audible?
Yes, your voice is audible, but Jiya's voice is not audible properly.
Yes. Jiya, are you listening to me? Is my voice audible to you, Jiya?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible.
Sometimes, your voice is cracking. As our, distinguished professor, Dr. Surendra Pathak ji says that at point it might be attributed to networking issue. I'm just quickly coming to the very, very next question now. Jiya, you are pursuing biology with an objective to qualify as a doctor. Why you intend to be a doctor? Is there any special reason for the same? Yes, Jiya, your take on this.
Yes, sir. My mother, Dr. Priya, she has done BMS. She is an Ayurveda doctor, and she's my inspiration. She's my motivation for taking the medical stream and opting for biology, and then aiming to be a doctor, for being specific to be a neurologist. So I've seen her curing many patients of hers and do her magic, because I think it's a very hard task to cure anyone, because when you connect with people and understand their problems and then you're able to cure them, it gives you a sense of contentedness. It gives you a sense of happiness, a satisfaction, and that I observed and felt and learned, and that inspired me. That became my ultimate motivation, my mother, to opt for this stream. And so I'm aiming to be a neurologist and cure many patients as she did from the methods of Ayurveda.
Okay. So great that your mother is an object of inspiration for you, and you want to be a doctor. But Jiya, can it happen in future that after qualifying as a doctor, you might opt for civil servant, you might opt to be an IAS officer, or you might choose some other career also? Is there any such idea at this juncture?
Yes, sir. I've thought that if I if I qualify, that if I become a neurologist, then yes, I would like to give the UPSC exam and aim to get the post of an IAS officer also.
But then, Jiya, don't you think that you will be doing injustice to the medical profession? Because medical profession, will be losing a very, very promising doctor. If you switch over to civil services, you'll be doing a grave injustice to the medical profession then?
I think that when I will switch if I'll switch to the civil services, in both ways, being a doctor and an IAS officer, I will be serving my country in more ways than just being a doctor, because there will be more opportunities for me to serve my country, to serve my people. So I don't think that it will be a total injustice, but I will be able to serve many people.
Okay. Great. So, my dear viewers, you have seen, you have heard Jiya. Jiya believes, and of course, truly so, that despite even qualifying as a medical doctor, if she, finally, if she succeeds in cracking civil services, and she will join, as an IS officer, she will be doing justice to both her professions, to the profession of medical, to the medicine profession, because in both ways she is going to serve the nation. So after all, it is a service. Her entire life is dedicated to the service of nation, and we from this august platform of Education Pe Charcha, we salute her dedication to the cause of the nation, to the altruistic mission, or for improving the lots of the fellow citizens of this country. Thanks a lot, Jiya. I'm coming to the last question. This is a very, very important question, Jiya. Before I would honestly request Dr. Shri Surendra Pathak ji to express his opinion, to translate our transcript into Hindi. This is a very, very important question. You are a child prodigy. It is established beyond doubt, beyond any controversy, because not only being selected as an anchor, you already showed your mettle. You already proved your prowess by by winning so many prizes and awards. So now, as I know, what will be your message to the millions of students who intend to learn the art of anchoring, art of public speaking? Because you would appreciate the fact that I myself have seen so many talented people who have a stage phobia. If you want them to come to the stage and say even few words, they might invariably falter. But here you are as an exemplar of having proven your skills, for as a public speaker. So from this august platform of Education Pe Charcha, having already won the laurels and accolades from across, from across board, of being a very, very successful anchor, what advice you would like to tender to the students community, and even to the executives and managers and the leaders who basically are very poor public speaker, and moment they come on stage they virtually start shuddering, and they cannot deliver what they feel like saying? So what would be your advice, please, to all such categories of students and all the leaders, managers, and everyone?
Yes. Firstly, I think that, of course, when I was when I had my first stage performance, I also had stage fear, and I still get nervous when I present before the audience. There's always that beforehand nervousness, so it never goes away. But the one thing that you can do to help yourself is that always be prepared, always do your homework, because in order to speak on a subject, in order to anchor, and in order to perform in front of the whole audience on the stage, the most important thing is that you must have a deep understanding of what you are performing about. Because if you have that, then you can deliver your message more in a more better way, because then you will be able to do it in your way. Because when you are confident enough that you have the understanding of the topic, you have the knowledge, you have done your homework, you are prepared, you have done the practice many times, then you automatically have the confidence to speak, to perform in front of the audience. So yes, the first thing is to be prepared, and the second thing is to have as many practice as you can. Because whenever I have to perform on the stage, I make sure that I must have the practice, because that is the thing that makes you foolproof. But then again, you can never be totally foolproof, but it gives you some confidence. The last thing is that when you perform on the stage, you have to connect with the audience, so that you and the audience can feel connected, and then there can be more understanding between the audience and you. So that also helps It helps so much when you make eye contact with the audience, then you are able to connect with them and they are able to connect with you. So that also gives you some amount of confidence, and then you're able to deliver your message properly. Thank you.
Great, Jiya. Actually, my dear viewers, what Jiya Srivastava says, of course, are very, very pertinent and relevant points, because making an eye contact and especially calibrating the very degree and magnitude of the audience you are going to address is, of course, are the requisites, or rather are the prerequisites for addressing the people from the stage. So obviously, if you are a great intellectual and you want to intellectually connect with the people who are not measuring up to your expectation, you are a fiasco at stage. You have failed to live up to the expectation of the people. So it is immaterial what is your level of understanding, but what exactly is the decisive and the pivotal point is the level of audience with which you are matching, in terms of compatibility of communication. This is indeed a very, very vital point. And making an eye contact means you are confident. You are talking sense. Whatever you are saying, you are talking authoritatively. You are making sense to it. Brilliant, Jiya. You have so lucidly and candidly you have explained exactly what should be the prerequisite for a good public speaking. Indeed, we extend you the best wishes from this particular podium, that is August platform of Education Pe Charcha. All mighty success in your career. You should go on to become one of the topmost neurosurgeons in the country. And as you aspire to be an IAS officer, I extend my best wishes to you, that may divine ensure the fulfillment of your desire, your ambition to become an IAS officer as well. And you bring glory to your family, glory to the state and the nation, and to the international community by virtue of being a noble person, a noble professional, a noble bureaucrat. Indeed, it was, my dear viewers, it was a unique and spectacular session today with a child prodigy, only child prodigy thus far we have invited to illuminate this session of Education Pe Charcha. You would appreciate this Education Pe Charcha, which had hosted such stalwarts like Honorable Chief Election Commissioner like Shri V.S. Sampath Sir, topmost one of India, greatest Chief Election Commissioner ever, topmost IAS officer, Vice Chancellors. We have, accommodated child prodigy Jiya Srivastava, because we can well understand her capability, her caliber, her prowess, because even at such a bare age, being a teenager, she has done something so unique that you hear from here, Education Pe Charcha. I, Vivekananda, the convener, an author, academician, and a public intellectual, I salute Jiya Srivastava and wish her all the very best. My dear viewers, before I pass it on to Dr. Shri Surendra Pathak for his very, very illuminating views, it is very incumbent on the part to make an announcement for next session's our guest, that is Shri Professor Vidyanath Jhaji, who is not only has been a top class educationist, but he is the pioneer revolutionary in the field of Makhana, which is so closely associated with Mithila. Makhana, even Prime Minister has been loftily speaking about Makhana of late. So Vidya Babu, he's referred to as Vidya Babu. He is going to be our next guest on Education Pe Charcha on next Saturday at the same time at 7 p.m. That is on 24th of this month, April. Now I invite Dr. Shri Surendra Pathak to bless our child prodigy, that is Jiya Srivastava. Dr. Surendra Pathak, please, sir, it's your turn now. Dr. Surendra Pathak.
Yes.
हाँ, please.
तो सबसे पहले तो मैं जिया श्रीवास्तव को, बिटिया को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। और मैं क्योंकि कम्युनिकेशन पढ़ाता रहा हूँ, प्रोफेसर रहा हूँ, तो मैं इस बात को समझ सकता हूँ कि इतने बड़े फोरम पे जब प्राइम मिनिस्टर और बहुत सारे हमारे फॉरेन डेलीगेट बैठे हों और करोड़ों लोग सुन रहे हों, उस स्थिति में अपने कॉन्फिडेंस को बना के रखना, संतुलन को बना के रखना कितना कठिन काम होता है। उसके लिए लगातार बहुत अभ्यास की जरूरत होती है और संस्कार की भी जरूरत होती है, जो आपको अपने परिवार या पिता से मिला है। और मुझे लगता है कि इसमें बड़ी साधना भी लगती है। जैसे जब आपका जो चयन हुआ और उसके लिए जो आपने तैयारी की थी, उससे पता लगता है कि एक लंबी साधना आपकी रही है। आप जन्म से ही प्रतिभाशाली नहीं, इसीलिए इतने सारे अवार्ड आपको मिले और बहुत सारे सम्मान जो है आपके खाते में रहे। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये साधना का ही फल है, अपने संस्कार का फल है, जिसके कारण और आपकी जो एकाग्र करने की जो अभ्यास रहा है मेडिटेशन के माध्यम से, उसके कारण से आप परीक्षा में चर्चा जैसे महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम का एंकरिंग आप सफलतापूर्वक बिना कॉन्फिडेंस खोए जो है आप कर पाई। और मैंने देखा कि आप एक बड़ी शार्पनेस भी है। मैंने भी इस कार्यक्रम को सुना था। जो बौद्धिकता है, जैसे आपकी भय था, आशंका थी, दुविधा थी, है ना, जिसको कहते हैं कि थोड़ा उत्साह भी था और थोड़ी सी घबराहट भी थी, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री के आते ही जो उनका ऑरा है और जैसे ही आपके आई कांटेक्ट उनके साथ हुआ और ऐसा लगा कि ये तो बहुत ही सरल हो गया, हम जैसे अपने मित्र के साथ बात करते हैं वैसा वातावरण बना दिया। ये निश्चित रूप से मोदी जी की अपनी प्रतिभा है कि वो किसी भी मीटिंग को बहुत गंभीर नहीं होने देते हैं और वातावरण को बहुत सहज और सरल कर देते हैं, ताकि जो ऑडियंस है या उनके साथ जो स्पीकर्स हैं या जो एंकरिंग करने वाले हैं उनमें कोई स्ट्रेस पैदा ना हो, दबाव पैदा ना हो। ये मोदी जी की विशेषता कह सकती है, प्रतिभा कह सकती है। इसी के कारण वो इतने बड़े देश का नेतृत्व सफलतापूर्वक कर रहे हैं। इस बात को पहचाना, जिया ने इस बात को पहचाना और न केवल पहचाना, उसके अनुरूप अपना प्रदर्शन किया, जो तारीफे काबिल है। मुझे विश्वास है कि तुम आगे और भी बड़े बड़े कार्यक्रमों का संचालन करोगी और जिस साधना से, तपस्या से, जिस प्रतिभा के साथ, जिस संतुलन से, और जैसा आपने कहा कि जब हम ऐसे प्रोग्राम में जाते हैं तो आउटर अपीयरेंस भी महत्वपूर्ण होता है। हमारा ड्रेस, कॉस्ट्यूम, हमारे फेस, चेहरे के भाव, भंगिमा, मुद्रा, है ना, बॉडी लैंग्वेज, इन सब का भी रोल होता है। भाषा का चयन, शब्द का चयन, है ना, समय सीमा, ये टाइम मैनेजमेंट, ये सब चीजें महत्वपूर्ण होती हैं। और इन सबको समझने के लिए जो आपने श्रम किया, बहुत सारे एंकर्स को देखा वो किस तरीके से किसी का संचालन करते हैं, तो ये जो साधना थी तुम्हारी सफल हुई और मुझे विश्वास है कि आगे भी तुम हर मोर्चे में सफल होगी। हमारी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं। और जैसा आपकी महत्वाकांक्षा है कि आप भविष्य में एक IAS ऑफिसर बनना चाहते हैं, जरूर निश्चित रूप से आपको सफलता प्राप्त होगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं और आशीर्वाद भी।
Thanks a lot, sir. My dear viewers, you have been hearing a distinguished professor, Dr. Shri Surendra Pathak ji, a very, very valued partner of Education Pe Charcha. And today, my dear viewers, it was the 44th session of Education Pe Charcha, where we hosted, the child prodigy, Jiya Srivastava. My dear viewers, today I am logging in from the sacred land of Mithila, from Darbhanga, where, centuries ago, one of the, a child prodigy. See the coincidence. Today we are hosting a child prodigy, and from this sacred place of Darbhanga, centuries ago, a child prodigy by the name of Sankara Misra had given his unique introduction to the king of Darbhanga when he entered into the court of Darbhanga's Maharaja, and when all the court members laughed at him that how could a child enter into such a august premise or august precinct. Then the introduction was given by Sankara Misra. बालोहं जगदानंदं नमे वाला सरस्वती अपूर्णे पंचमे वर्षे वर्णयाम जगत्रयम. Even though I am a child, yet to complete my 5 years of age. Nonetheless, I have the prowess and the capability to describe the universe. From that sacred place of Darbhanga, today the land of scholars, this is Vivekananda, an author, academician, and a public intellectual. Once again, express my deepest sense of thanks and gratitude to the child prodigy, Jiya Srivastava, with a galore, blessings galore, that she should become, one of the giants, in future, and one of the greatest figures of her time. With this sort of blessings to Jiya, I once again reiterate my announcement for the guest for the next session, that is Dr. Professor Vivekananda Jhaji, who, apart from being a very, very erudite intellectual, he has been a pioneer in terms of promotion of Makhana, which is becoming a talk of the global community today. And even our Honorable Prime Minister of late has been loftily talking about Makhana. And Vidya Babu has played the pioneer role in terms of promoting Makhana. He is going to be our next esteemed guest. And I thank once again all my audio viewers. Today we kick-started our session a bit late. I am apologetic, and please watch this unique and spectacular video. I invite all students community, all professionals, everyone to watch this particular video and to see how a child prodigy, Jiya Srivastava, talks with so much intelligence, and her words of wisdom is a learning lesson for each one of us. I once again thank Jiya. Jiya, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. I thank you too much. So much. I thank Dr. Surendra Pathak ji. I thank Sabia ji. I thank Chandan Oraon, and of course, today is from Darbhanga I am logging in. I thank Shri Anup Kumar Jhaji for providing me all sort of assistance for conducting this unique and spectacular session on Education Pe Charcha with a child prodigy, that is Jiya Srivastava. Thanks to all of you. We are returning that on next Saturday at the same time, 7. Keep watching Education Pe Charcha. The 44th session was today, which is nothing but equivalent to educating the nation.